Hey everybody, welcome back to Video Game Episode. Here again, damn, do I have a fun and exciting video for you guys today. That is because I am playing and talking about DenshaAttack, a new demo released during Steam Next Fest, which is basically Jet Grind Radio or Jet Set Radio combined with the world of Tony Hawk and a few other games. And to say that this thing absolutely blew me away would be an understatement. I am 100% sold on DenshaAttack just as this demo, and all the developers need to do is keep the quality the same, give me more exciting levels, and I think you're looking towards maybe one of the best potential games of 2026. Because if you love Jet Set Radio and you want a new Jet Set Radio game, this is about as close that we're going to get until Sega finally does something and shows us what they're working on. Before we get too far involved though, do me a huge favor down below, hit like and subscribe and ring that notification bell, definitely helps us out. And if you feel so inclined and want to support the channel, I got a Patreon link down below as well. And before you say Video Game Esoterica, trains do not jump. Go ahead and Google what happened at O'Hare Airport maybe like 4 or 5 years ago, where the blue line basically derailed and went all the way up the stairs into O'Hare Airport. So I know firsthand that trains can jump, you just have to be really motivated to be able to do it. And you'll see there you can also crash in this game because the overall control scheme is straight up something out of Tony Hawk Pro Skater in all the best ways possible. It also has a little bit of outrun too in here as well, because you can drift this train. If you ever wanted to play a colorful cel-shaded kind of Neo-Tokyo version of the movie Snowpiercer, that's what you're doing here as well. And again, I'm going to explain all of this as we go along, but trust me, the amount of mechanics in here is staggering, and it really is something that I absolutely fell in love with. And as far as what genre DenshaAttack is, I have absolutely no idea, so you guys can help me out in the comments down below. Is it an on-rails Tony Hawk Pro Skater? Well, yes and no. It has all of the movement tech of something like Tony Hawk as well as the Skate franchise, but it isn't always on rails, because here you'll see I am using the top of a Ferris wheel while jumping the bus to knock out all of these different satellite dishes in the water. So it isn't always on rails, pun very much intended, even though it is a train game. Is it a Jet Set Radio? Well, yes and no. You have all of the different tricks and the cel shading style and overall vibes of Jet Set Radio, but of course that game is more open-ended as far as an open world game is concerned. So what genre is something like DenshaAttack? You leave me a comment down below, but I'm just going to call it Jet Set Densha Tony Hawk Train Attack, and that makes perfect sense to me as far as what this game actually is. And what that means is this game is so unique and so interesting that it really kind of lives as its own genre. And I will say the gameplay mechanics here absolutely become hyper addicting. This thing just absolutely fires on all cylinders, even if trains don't actually have cylinders, at least most electric ones these days. And again, I just love stuff like this, because I will tell you right now, during the Steam Next Fest, especially this year, I get dozens upon dozens of emails from different developers saying, hey, we'd love for you to check out our demo and talk about it. And honestly, I kind of play as many as I can in my spare time, but I don't really make many into videos whatsoever. It has to be something very special for me to really want to sit down and talk to you guys about it. DenshaAttack 100% was that game, because it reminds me of so many of my favorite retro gaming franchises, including obviously Jet Set Radio, but it also lives on its own, basically creating a genre. If there's another game like this out there, I don't know about it, where you just run down a track on a train doing skateboarding tricks. And this is why retro gaming is making a comeback, and what I talk about when I say modern retro. Yes, this is a modern game. Yes, it's going to release in 2026, and it has modern graphics, but it has an absolutely amazing retro aesthetic where both the new gamers who didn't really grow up in the Jet Set Radio or Dreamcast era will love it, but so will we. And outside of the gameplay, which I will get more in depth in after the soundtrack sample, I will say the entire world of DenshaAttack is just stunningly beautiful. Now, I fully admit bias. You know, if you watch the channel, I love neon colorways, I love colors that pop, and I love cel shading when done correctly. DenshaAttack is just a straight up pretty game to look at. And as far as the developers on this one, I looked up their other games, and I had never heard of a single one of them, so this one absolutely came out of left field and surprised me. I got an email basically saying I should try the demo, and then Andy D was actually playing it and saying he loved it as well, so I figured I would sit down and capture some, and honestly, I just think this thing is straight up amazing. Now, because it is being compared to Jet Set Radio, it better have a good soundtrack, because Jet Set Radio is some of the best music Sega ever made for a video game, so we're going to go into our first soundtrack sample. Go ahead and listen for 45 seconds, but come back because I'm going to talk a lot more about the gameplay mechanics, because they are way more in-depth than you would expect. But enjoy, because this music is good.
I'll get it right this time! I won't give up!
So if some magical Bible existed where you could take it off the shelf and it would tell you everything about game design, including what would the perfect music be for every genre, underneath the perfect music for a train game that's also a skateboarding game that also seems like Jet Set Radio, that would be what they would advise you to use. Point being is the music in this game is just straight up a perfect marriage with the visuals and with the gameplay and overall pacing and speed. And you will see there are a lot of fast jumps as well, because what you're watching here is actually my first run through of the game. A lot of times when I do these reviews, I like to talk about the actual first impressions and not me playing with the game 6 hours until the point in time that I can understand it exactly and 100% master it. Because it's one of those things, if a game doesn't give you a good first impression, not a lot of people are going to hang out to try to get that 7th, 8th, even 10th impression. And this, again, I just think you're all going to love. And just so you are aware, I don't get anything for making this video. I just received an email saying, hey, you should check our demo out. But again, I probably got like 50 of those since Next Fest started. And honestly, I played about 20 that looked like they were interesting, and I didn't end up making any videos on them. That's not to say that there isn't some amazing stuff out there right now. It's just to say that for me, this was the one that hit. And jumping over these Moai heads here, you will see that we also have a ground pound a la Super Mario 64, and you have to hit it at just the right point to be able to get some of these collectibles. And that, again, is so fun. If anything, this kind of feels like an infinite runner, except it isn't always on rails, because you do have those more open sections. And hitting that 5,000 point marker right there, obviously getting all of the challenges completed in a level and getting that top score, that is Tony Hawk Pro Skater through and through, where you had all the different challenges, including the high score challenge, so you could actually 100% a level. Because DenshaAttack is the type of thing you're going to be going back to time and time again. And I will say, even the story here, the haves versus the have-nots, so that's why I compared it to something like Snowpiercer, because of the different breaks in society. It is just a fun time. And this is the type of game, if it didn't have all that much story, you would forgive it because you're really here for the gameplay. Because you think about something like Tony Hawk Pro Skater, there really isn't much story in that whatsoever. You're just there to do some cool tricks and have fun. And that's what you're here to do in DenshaAttack as well. Do some cool tricks and have fun, but you get a full comprehensive story, at least in the demo. And I'm really curious to see where the story goes in the full version of the game, because trust me, this is a day one review for me. Even if some of these more modern game releases or new game reviews don't do that well on the channel, I absolutely love pointing these things out to you, because I feel like at this point in time, I understand what you like to play. And now that the channel is growing and I'm getting more of these emails, I get to talk about more stuff. But I will say it's definitely going to have a little bit of a learning curve, because all of the tricks are going to be done with flicks of the right analog stick. Almost think like fighting game inputs, except on analog, not on digital. Once you get the hang of them, it definitely makes sense, but it is going to take you maybe like 5 to 10 minutes in this actual test arena for you to understand exactly everything you can do with the train. But once you have that, you can leave the station, pun very much intended, and go ahead and have a metric crap ton of fun with this one. And you'll see here there is also a listing of all the tricks you can do. But one more soundtrack sample, because again, this music is straight up amazing, and I'll be right back with just a little bit more gameplay.
Won't give up!
I just straight up love the music. I love the environment. In some ways, it kind of feels a little bit like a Katamari Damacy game as well. And I know that it is just the end of February when I'm recording this. You might watch this in the beginning of March, but I will say right now, in the first 2 months of 2026, DenshaAttack is absolutely my favorite modern game I have played. And I thought something like the re-release of Rave Racer onto modern platforms would definitely take that title for the first 2 months. But DenshaAttack 100% blows it out of the water. This is a special game. It is a beautiful game to look at, an incredibly fun game to play, and I think it's going to become highly addictive. The demo is available on Steam right now, and I can't recommend enough. Give it a shot, because it's one of those things I think 9 out of 10 of you are going to fall in love with this one and want to pick it up when it releases. But short of that, I am done. We'll play some more Jet Set Tony Hawk Train in a little bit, and I'll see you guys next time. Hope you enjoyed the video, though, and trust me, trains can jump the tracks. I've seen it. Bye-bye.